What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, just another PokeTuber coach of the coach of your Piedmont Tri Kickers, coming at you today with our draft analysis for VDL Manaphy Division Season 1. If I'm not mistaken, the actual draft league itself has been around for I want to say it's been 9 seasons they've been around. Regardless, VDL stands for Vortex Draft League, and I think Manaphy Division is like their first season. But I'm pretty sure in total, like this league has been around for like I want to, for some reason I can't help but to say it's been 9 whole seasons it's been around, but it might be even more than that, maybe even less. I'm not sure. Either way, I just know we're here for the inaugural season of the Manaphy division. This league is a low tier draft league, and when I say low tier, I mean like low. Like I remember like when I did BHDL, like one of the strongest mons on the board was for example Gardevoir. Or actually, I think Gardevoir might still be available. So let me not use Gardevoir. Let me use a better example, like a Cerulege or a Skeleturge or a Pecharunt. Like those are still allowed in like low tier, right? This division does not allow even those Pokemon. That's how low we're going. And when I say low, I mean low. Matter of fact, if you're familiar with Smogon tiering, I think it's fair to say that this format, this board for the most part had like the ZU and PU Pokemon and maybe some of the NU, not all of them though. Like that's how crazy it is. Like even some of the NU Pokemon are like not allowed. So like if anything is like RU or UU or OU, trust and believe it's not on the board. But yeah. So in this draft, we had 70 points to draft exactly 10 Pokemon. We can't have less. We can't have more. It has to be precisely 10. We are given 7 points to draft exactly 2 Terra Captains. So you don't have to use the whole 7, but you have to have at least 2 Terra Captains. So the Terras were anything that were 6 points or less. So you couldn't just draft one 6-point Terra Captain and then not draft a 1 pointer. So if you wanted a 6-point Terra Captain, you had no choice but to draft a 1 point Terra Captain as well. And as you guys can imagine, if it's a 1 pointer in this format, the way I'm describing it, you guys get the idea. So this season will be 8 weeks plus playoffs. So expect to see us for the next 11 weeks. Uploads are not required. However, we were advised that if we are going to be uploading, that we should upload on Sundays. So I will be posting my videos on Sundays, even though they're not required. But you guys know we're here for the content. So in regards to the actual draft itself, I ended up as number 8. I don't know what the heck it is with me in this number 8. Like I've been number 8 like in quite a few drafts recently, and it is very, very annoying. I really hate getting number 8, but you know what? It is what it is, and we'll make the best of it no matter what. Especially considering by the time I post this, power rankings have already came out, and my team actually uh, got a lot more praise than I thought it would. So I guess we made the best out of being 8th in this position. But you know what? I'm gonna let you guys comment and tell me what you think about the team, at the end of the video, of course. So without further ado, let's get into the team that I drafted. So for the first round draft, so when I did BHDL low tier, I realized one mistake I made was that my team wasn't like offensively, just wasn't that fast. Like a lot of my offensive mons were kind of on the slow side, so I decided this time around I was going to draft something fast, round one, something that could be offensive, and then maybe not just be locked into being just one thing. So for the first round pick, the Piedmont Tri Kickers decided to go back to old reliable in the form of Toothless, the Noivern. So we're going to be using our shiny Noivern named Toothless. You guys are probably familiar with me using him as a Terra Captain in like previous leagues I've been in. Dragon Flying type, so nasty ice weakness, but thankfully there's not like a lot of crazy strong ice types. Actually, not that many to begin with. So the main ability we'll be using on this guy is Frisk, but he does get other abilities like he gets telepathy, but we're not using that. His only other ability he gets that we actually would use is Infiltrator, which could be really good for like teams that have like sub and stuff. So this guy's really fast, 123 speed, going to be outspeeding most things. The 97 special attack, which will be the main side of the spectrum we're hitting on, leaves a bit to be desired, but in this particular format, since the bulk isn't as high as it would be in, let's say, a format that allowed like OU Pokemon, 97 is actually not bad, and even his bulk isn't really all that bad. And throw some specs on this thing. This thing hits pretty hard, but it can also be a really good utility mon with like because it gets like defog for hazard removal, and I've seen like niche like Super Fang sets do work too as well. I don't remember the other utility moves it gets out of that, but Noivern thankfully the stab moves he gets are pretty strong too, like Hurricane Draco. And then he gets access to Boom Burst, which is just a free 140 move for whatever reason. But yeah, that is Noivern, mainly here to be like a we'll probably be using him offensively most of the time, but he can also be here to be a really good hazard remover as well. And in general, like a really good late game sweeper because there's not a lot of things in this format that are going to be outspeeding him. Next on the team roster, so Noivern, like I mentioned, has a pretty nasty ice weakness, so I decided, okay, let's pick up something that can resist ice. And then also something that's also offensive, fast, and preferably a physical attacker. So for the first time ever, the Piedmont Tri Kickers have acquired the talents of, oh, by the way, Noivern was 11 points, so now we only have 59 points left. And we decided to spend, I think this next mon is 10 points. Yeah, it's 10 points. It's Black Bull, the Tauros Aqua, who is a water fighting type. So this thing resists, it resists ice and it resists fairy. Wait, no, it doesn't resist fairy. You don't resist fairy. You and Noivern are both weak to fairy. It resists ice. It resists ice. Sorry, guys. Resists ice, and we resist rock, which are two things that Noivern is weak to. I knew it was two things we could resist that Noivern is weak to. I just jumped the gun with the whole fairy thing. But anyway, this guy is a pretty good physical attacker. 100 speed, which normally would be like, but in this format it's pretty good, especially with his bulk, like 75 HP with like 105 defense and the ability to intimidate, which, can pair well together because of the bulk. 70 definitely is a lot to be desired, but there's ways to get around that. And on top of that, he does have some pretty cool other abilities, like I think he gets like Cud Chew. It has something to do with berries. I forgot how it works, but I think the ability, I remember reading it and thinking to myself, oh, this is something we could potentially use. I forgot what his third ability is, but whatever it is, we probably won't use it. We'll probably be intimidating most of the time, or maybe we'll try the Cud Chew thing. You never know. But because of that 110 attack and 105 defense, this thing could be a pretty good late game sweeper with bulk up. Also gets access to Trailblaze, and it gets coverage to hit the things that can normally resist it, so that's really nice. Because water, and even in general, water and fighting is like really hard to switch into. And in general, this mon can also be really annoying if my opponent's like main offensive like physical attackers, because they can just come in and basically turn those mons into setup fodder, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, that is Black Bull, that is Tauros. He's mainly here to be like a physical sweeper, but we could probably get other uses out of him because we could also use his mon in like a more defensive role as well. So now we have 49 points left, and I decided, you know what, we kind of needed a fairy, and I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do with this team, so I felt this mon, like it was like now or never. So I decided in the next round I would pick up Old Reliable, and I do mean Old Reliable, because anyone who's been following me for a while knows that I've picked up this mon several times. This mon is none other than Nimbus slash Wimmy the Whimsicott, because I have two shiny Whimsicotts. One, the boy is Nimbus and the girl is Wimmy. Sometimes I feel like bringing one over the other, just depends. But Whimsicott in this format can be a pretty good special attacker, especially like a really good late game sweeper, because it's not like the strongest thing with like 77 special attack, but it's pretty fast with 116 speed, and its main fairy stab is Moonblast, which in and of itself is a really strong move, so to be able to spam that, pretty good, right? It has ways to stay healthy with like Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Energy Ball's not a bad click either. This Pokemon also gets so the main ability is going to be using is Prankster, but it can also use Chlorophyll. It can also use Infiltrator, which trust me, this team is going to have ways to make use of both of those. Actually, I can't remember if this thing gets Infiltrator or not. I know it gets Chlorophyll and Prankster. I'm pretty sure it gets Infiltrator as well, but so this thing could be like a Sun Sweeper. This thing could just be a Prankster and be annoying with like Encore Leech Seed sets, or maybe I run Sun one week and then just run like a Growth set, because this thing, once again, Moonblast, your main stab. So this thing's pretty strong, and it can also do like a lot of different things because of Prankster. So we get like Prankster Screens, Prankster Tailwind, Prankster Sun. Like we get a lot of different things. Tauros probably wouldn't appreciate the Sun, but Whimsicott would, and maybe some other monsters that are on my team. But yeah, Whimsicott is kind of going to be like our little Swiss Army knife. You just never know what to expect from it week after week. Next on the team roster is a Pokemon. So I wanted Incineroar, but Incineroar got sniped. So I figured, okay, this isn't a mon I was thinking about drafting, but I felt like if I didn't draft it now, it would get taken. So I decided for the next round, I would pick up none other than lunchbox, the Rotom Heat. So we do have two mons that are weak to ice. So I did want to, fix that ice weakness. So this guy was 12 points. We have 28 points left to pick 6 Pokemon. Crazy, right? But Rotom Heat is mainly just here to be like a defensive wall. He has 107 defense and SPDF, so we can use him on either side of the spectrum. He has a pretty good utility move pool with like Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split for recovery, Volt Switch for switching in and out. Its Fire Stab is Overheat, so it hits pretty hard even because it has 105 special attack, so we're not going to really invest in that too much. However, Overheat's still a strong move in and of itself, and this mon can run like nasty plot sets or trick sets, so this mon has potential to do a lot of different things. I've never had Rotom Heat before. I've only ever had Rotom Mow and Rotom Watch, so don't know what to expect from this mon. Wasn't really planning to draft it to begin with, but he's here and we're going to make the best use of our little lunchbox. So next on the team roster, so sometimes we just have to make very, and I do mean very tough decisions, guys, because this is a Pokemon I was not looking at all. I kid you not. But then I remembered how my friend Lazy Boy did really good with it in low tier, because his main thing was get rid of all the special attackers, and this mon kind of just goes crazy. So I said, screw it, we do need a steel type, so why not pick up all aboard the Orthworm, who is the one steel type, as far as I know, that can't be hit by ground. So as far as my team's concerned, we're not worried about ground. Usually my teams are ground weak. This team right here does not mind ground at all, but this is like a physical wall. 145 defense. SPDF leaves a little bit to be desired, but this guy is mainly here to be like set rocks, and there's gonna be games where if my opponents don't like have the best special attackers and I know I can eliminate them, I can just run like an Iron Press set on this thing, and then boom, it just wins me the game because you can't remove it. It really sucks he doesn't get reliable recovery, but I mean, at the same time, with his bulk, I've seen leftovers just be good enough. Now, I want to stress this. I only think this mod is good in low tier. Outside of low tier, I think it's kind of mid, but hey, that's Orthworm. He's on the team, mainly here to be a rocker, but maybe we get more uses out of him than just that. Next on the team roster, so as I was alluding to earlier, I kind of see like a weather mode with my team, but I don't like running dedicated weather. So to pair with Whimsicott as another prankster mon, I decided I would also pick up the 4-point Sableye, known as Greed. So now we only have 18 points left to pick 4 more Pokemon. So Sableye is mainly here to be like a little bit of everything in regards to the support role. He gets Knockoff, he gets Will-O-Wisp, he gets T-Wave, he gets Screens, he gets both weathers. So I can run Rain Dance or Sunny Day for my team, which I feel like, because Whimsicott does get Hurricane, so my team can actually function in rain. Because like for example, Orthworm would appreciate taking half damage from like sun, but I can also run a sun mode that has Whimsicott, Rotom, even like Noivern, like, because he does get Flamethrower, so like there's different ways I can use the team. I think I already mentioned this guy gets Screens, Recover, so he has reliable recovery. We get priority with this guy, so Greed can do a little bit of everything. Defense leave a lot to be desired, but in this particular format, this mon can actually be deceptively bulky, and this guy can also function as a spin blocker for Orthworm. They kind of cover each other's weaknesses pretty well, especially like Orthworm and Rotom. Like, they cover each other's weaknesses almost like perfectly. And then we have Tauros for like the wall. You guys get the idea. But yeah, that is Greed, mainly here to just to support the team. Next on the team roster is not a mon I wanted to draft, but I let Zach Manor talk me into it, so she's here. Piloswine. How is round 7 Piloswine here? I don't know, but once again, my team was kind of weak to ice, so this guy's resistant to ice. So basically, you're not hitting my Noivern or my Whimsicott with Ice Shard. It's just not happening. But this mon is pretty bulky because of the Eviolite item that is allowed to run, and as well as having thick fat, so it's immune to ice, and I think it's like not immune to ice, but basically ice and fire don't do a whole lot of damage to it, despite its typing. And then, like I said, it's pretty bulky. It gets pretty good stab, like ground and ice, so we can like use it to make chip on stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what to expect from a Piloswine. I've never used a Piloswine. I've never even thought about using a Piloswine, but he's here, and we're gonna learn about him you guys are gonna watch me learn about him. So yeah, that's Piloswine. Next on the team roster, I don't believe in drafting teams without a grounded poison. So how this Pokemon was still here, I do not know, but it's an amazing physical Pokemon to pair with like Orthworm and Rotom Heat. So I decided not physical, but like a good SPDF Pokemon. So I decided to pick up Reiju the Muck. If you watch One Piece, you know who that is, and if you don't, I'd advise you to catch up. So, first of all, Muck and Earthworm in general just have really good synergy defensively. So this thing is like a pretty good like Spadef like wall slash tank Pokemon. We have Poison Touch for the ability. 5 points, by the way, that we spent on this guy. So we only have 7 points left to draft two more Pokemon, which coincidentally is how much we need for Terra Captains anyway. But this guy is mainly here to be like a to help with like those Spadef, whenever we're going into team builders, like help with the Spadef Pokemon. He has poison touches like is like the main ability we're going to be using, so like you have to be cautious around switching into him because there's more times than not he's going to poison you. He gets Drain Punch for steel types, he gets Zen Headbutt for other poison types, so this thing can't really be walled, I guess you could say. And then he does get set up in the form of like Curse, and like I said, he can use Drain Punch stuff to like stay healthy. And if I'm not mistaken, this thing does get Shadow Sting for priority, so there's also that. So yeah, that is Muck. Next on the team roster, as you guys can tell, so far the only hazard remover we have is Noivern. I don't like that, so I decided to go back to another reliable in the form of Reginald the Kamala, who is also going to be my first Terra Captain. 4 points. We have 3 points left to pick another Terra Captain. He has Comatose for the ability, so it's going to help out with like statuses, because I feel like you would want to like certain mons I have, you would want to T-Wave them, other ones you would want to Will-O-Wisp them, some you might want to poison them, but you know, Reginald is here to help with that. Reginald's also here to be a good like utility mon, because we do get Rapid Spin, Knockoff. We also get U-Turn for pivoting, and then in general as a normal type, he gets a pretty good like move pool, and with 115 attack in this format, he's going to be hitting pretty hard. And then on top of that, after one Rapid Spin, there's going to be a lot of times where he can just outspeed teams despite normally not being able to, because he does have 65 speed, so it is like a regular draft. At +1, he would probably still be slower than a lot of stuff, but in this format, it's a little bit different. He's kind of bulky-ish on the Swift side, and the defense on the physical leaves a bit to be desired, but he does get bulk up to at least help with that. So yeah, that is Reginald, mainly here to support the team, but he can also be a sweeper if you sleep on him, no pun intended. Next on the team roster, well, who would I be if I didn't pick up a Calm Mind Terra Captain? So we decided to go with none other than Chimecho, who I feel like is actually like a really slept on Pokemon. Like this Pokemon could be a really good setup sweeper. Levitate for the abilities. Like I said, you're not hitting my team with ground moves, bro. But this thing's here to mainly to be like a setup sweeper, but it can also do other things like Healing Wish, Wish support. I believe it gets Trick and Dual Screen, so there's also that Chimecho can provide to the team. So yeah, it's here. I'm not going to try to talk too much about it because it is a Chimecho, but I really have high hopes for my Chimecho. But yeah, guys, that is the team. I think I've said everything needed to be said, so without further ado, that is the end of my draft analysis for Manaphy Division Season 1. I am really looking forward to this season. Get to use some goofy goopers that I typically wouldn't. A lot of these mons, I don't really know a lot about them, so it's going to be fun getting to learn about them. So anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace out.